The Boss CH-1 Super Chorus is a versatile pedal for getting a variety of great chorus tones. Originally released on the tail end of 1985, the pedal has stood the test of time and is still produced today. The pedal also ranks in the #1 position for chorus and vibrato on the Reverb site. It comes in the classic metal Boss style enclosure and can be optionally 9-volt battery or DC powered. The pedal retails for $120 new and around the $80 mark on average plus shipping used, based on Reverb listings at least. They can, however, be found as low as $60 plus shipping. Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about the Boss Super Chorus CH-1, and this is just a great chorus pedal. It can get you pretty good all-around chorus tones, but yeah, so let's just talk about all the stuff that we need to talk about before we get into the pedal. So, we are running this pedal into the effects loop of the Boss Katana 2x12 combo amp. So, we're going to be able to use the distortion channel of the guitar amp to see how that affects the chorus. But keep in mind the chorus is in the effects loop, so the chorus will come after the distortion. The next thing is that I'm running the pedal on battery power from a 9-volt rechargeable battery, so it should be the cleanest tone possible. We are going to be using a Squier Stratocaster for this review as our guitar. Now, let's turn all knobs to normal, or let's turn all knobs to noon and see how it sounds just at its basic settings. A few things that I forgot to mention was that we have two microphones, one closer up to the speaker and one that is farther away for more of a room type sound, more like you'd be hearing if you were listening in the room with me. The close mic is more of a recorded sound. There was something I was going to say, but I can't remember. I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was probably something important, so let's continue on. Oh, well, here's a clean tone. Why is that so... what? Okay. My tone was turned down, I must turn the wrong knob. I don't know how I managed that, but... Drop D tuning. Let's see how the chorus sounds at its most average settings. So, not my favorite tone personally, but that's because you can barely even hear the chorus effect. So, let's talk about the controls that we have here. First, we have E level, which stands for effect level. So, it does not affect the overall volume of your guitar, but it does affect how much chorus is in your effect, or in your chain, whatever, however you want to say it. EQ kind of cuts off tones, if I'm not mistaken, either in the treble or the bass. More to the left, you get more bass. More to the right, you get a little more high end. Personally, I like to turn it back a little bit, especially when using distortion guitar with it. The rate controls the sine wave and how close together the hills are. So basically, the most simplest way to explain it is how warbly the sound is. And the depth is it's the peaks and the hills, the lows of that sine wave. So, in terms of chorus, it's a little hard to explain for me right now, but basically it makes the chorus more prominent And yeah, anyway, we're gonna show, or you're gonna see it all anyway. So let's turn the effect level down a little bit, down to about the 9 o'clock position, just to see how it sounds. Probably won't play it for very long, but let's see how that sounds. So you can barely even hear it, so that's why I like to turn the effect level all the way up. Let's turn it to the 11 o'clock, no, let's turn it to the 3 o'clock position and to hear it there. Much better. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna turn the effect level all the way up so that we can hear the other controls better, and you know, the best at least. So let's just play a little bit on maximum to hear how that sounds. So, pretty cool, even with those settings, when you can actually hear the chorus, it's a pretty cool effect. Okay, just had to adjust the volume on my microphone. Who knows how it's actually gonna turn out. So, with the effect level turned all the way up, let's get some tones on the EQ. Now, I'm gonna start on the turning the EQ on the high end, so to the right, and this might clip the microphone a bit. Let's see. So we are at the 3 o'clock position. Let's try it with distortion. Alright, it's a little too harsh for my ear, and I don't want to keep doing that for too long. So, just to give the pedal, a full demonstration, let's turn the EQ all the way up on the bright side and see how it sounds. Okay, we're gonna play a little bit on distortion, see how it sounds. I don't know, for some reason that was a little more bearable to listen to. It didn't really pierce my ear like the pulled back a little bit did, which is quite strange. But it's possibly just because of God, my brain is not working, I guess, today. But the EQ schematic, that's not the right word, but circuit, the EQ circuit that they used, it just put whatever frequencies that it was pushing or that it was making more prominent in that other position was not as good, at least in my opinion, especially with distortion. Wasn't as bad with the clean, of course, but I do really like chorus with the distortion. It's pretty cool. So, that being said, let's turn the EQ back to noon, and then we'll move on to the rate. So here's where things get a little weird. I forgot to do the dark side of the EQ. After doing half of the next knob, I realized this and went back and did the other half of the previous knob, and then from there went to complete the next knob once more. So I have just corrected this in editing, so when I finish with these sections, it might sound it might just feel a little weird, because it's not the right timeline in terms of what actually happened, but it will be the right timeline in terms of actually demonstrating the pedal. So, sorry for that. Did I even do the back side of the EQ? Let's do that real quick. God, my brain is not... I don't know what's wrong with me today. Let's turn the rate back to normal, and we'll mess with the EQ again. So, we have the EQ now at 9 o'clock. So So it makes it a much more mellow sound, in my opinion, which I really like. Very cool. Normally I play with it turned up a little bit more, but we'll come back to that later. So let's turn the EQ all the way down and see how that sounds. So it still seems to let some of those high frequencies come through, but it is still a much more mellow, dark sound. Let's hear it with some distortion. I kind of forget sometimes to do the distortion because this is actually, I think, my first time really recording the distortion with another pedal, because normally it doesn't come out quite right, but I fiddled with it and I think it's coming out a bit better. Hopefully it's not coming out too harsh and bad. So I like pretty harsh guitar sounds, so if you have a lot more high end being pushed, it can get too harsh pretty quick, and that's why I like the darker sounds of the chorus with distortion, because it kind of gets that perfect middle ground to me. It's very cool to do harmonics with chorus as well, because then you get all these other harmonics that come in through the chorusing and stuff. And so you get natural harmonics combined with artificial harmonics that are put in through the pedal, and it's just, I don't even know if these are the proper ways to use the terms for harmonics and stuff like that, but it does that kind of thing. Very cool. Alright. So, the rate control, like I said, it's going to affect how warbly it is, because it's going to change the speed that it pans through the chorusing effect. because what chorus is actually your signal, and then your signal doubled on top of it, but slightly off. I honestly don't know what I honestly don't know what creates the wave, the wave effect in chorus, but let's hear it anyway. Pretty cool. So, I don't know, you can kind of hear the warble in there, but it just seems like it also just makes it gives it more of that chorus sound. Very, very interesting. Let's hear the rate all the way up. Very cool. I like how it affects the tremolo, kind of how the vibrato, the natural vibrato, the distortion of it kind of works together with it. So let's hear it with some cleans. This is where a short scale guitar would come in handy. Very cool. I like that sound a lot. There's a lot of good sounds that can come out of chorus. Now let's turn it the complete opposite way. Did I even do? So that being said, let's turn the EQ back to noon, and we will go back to rate and turn the rate down, which is also a very cool sound. That's how I use it, is with my rate all the way down. So let's hear it. Let's start at the 9 o'clock position, yes. With the EQ turned back at noon, it just seems so brittle now to me. That also might be a reason why I like the EQ turned back, is because I oftentimes use the rate very low, which it seems to push a lot more high-end frequencies for some reason. To a normal person like me, even though I do look into pedals a lot, I don't know a lot about choruses, and there's a lot of mysteries with these controls that I am not completely understanding. So, very many combinations of tones you can find in a simple chorus pedal like this, though this is not even as simple as some chorus pedals get. Some chorus pedals get even simpler. So, let's turn the rate all the way down and hear how that sounds. There was a nice growl kind of happening there when you going to get those nice low end hits, which is, yeah, it's like I said, this is kind of around where I like to have my rate is at the very bottom. It's a very interesting sound as well. There's so many cool sounds that can happen out of chorus. Let's turn it back to clean, so that I think one thing that I forgot to do was I forgot to play clean at the 9 o'clock mark, but that's okay. I think you get the general idea, and of course, if you're just enjoying all the different sounds that you're hearing, then it's probably very worth it to pick one up. Boss pedals are usually pretty worth it, especially for the prices. Usually the prices are fairly reasonable, even though they can be out of the reach of the younger musician who can't afford much. But I found that's what I was going to say earlier, was that this pedal is actually used. I am not the first owner. So, functions may be different, but I doubt it. I think that this is pretty accurate, and usually Boss pedals are pretty sturdy, so they can withstand a lot of abuse from at least a couple owners, at least. So, let's hear the rate all the way down with the clean channel. Kind of not my favorite on the clean channel, honestly, but it might also help if I messed with the other controls a bit. But yeah, honestly, it wasn't coming through a whole lot. It did have some interesting, little waves and harmonics that pop through every once in a while, but not very defined with the clean channel. So now let's turn the rate to noon, and we will mess with the depth. Now I'm hearing some thumping on the bottom end of those waves. Not thumping, but you know what I think you know what I mean. Very cool. I think when I use my... It's been a long time since I've been able to actually use my chorus pedal, but I think when I use my chorus I like to have the depth all the way up. So, speaking of turning it all the way up, let's do so now. Very cool. Let's turn the distortion on. Super cool. Love the chorus effect, especially when you just turn it up, when you crank it up. So, that being said, let's start turning the depth down and see how that sounds. I don't even think I've ever heard this sound myself, because I don't think I've ever bothered to turn it down. Still pretty cool and interesting. Let's turn the depth all the way down and see how that sounds, if it's going to completely negate it or not. Let's see. So it's not completely negating it, but it is majority of the original sound. There's just this weird, like, high-end content that's kind of happening as far as I'm hearing. Very interesting. Let's hear it on the clean channel. So still just kind of there, but it's prominent in some frequencies, but not all. It seems that it's kind of like this buzzy effect, at least it was with the distortion. Let's see with the, what's it called, the clean channel. It's an interesting sound from like a tone chaser standpoint, but from an actual, listening standpoint, it's different, but it's not something super great, if you ask me at least. Like I said, definitely interesting, but not... I was gonna say it's definitely interesting, but not super interesting. It's not for everyone, I'll tell you that. And it's very like I said, it was very interesting for the distortion because it has that weird high-end content that was kind of, I already can't remember exactly what it sounded like, but I think it was like gritty and it was just weird. That's all I can say about that. So now we've run through the complete gambit of controls that are available. So let's just play with some tones. Let's try rate all the way down, or depth all the way down, rate all the way up, EQ turned back a bit, and effect level turned all the way up, which actually had turned back a little bit. I must have bumped it at some point. It's so weird. Damn it! Like I said, it's interesting, but it's also so plain. It's such a weird sound. It's one of those. It's a sound that you know is not good for you, but you want more. All right, so I kind of just want to hear it with everything turned up except for the EQ. We'll leave the EQ at noon, but let's turn everything up. See how it sounds. Oh my God, that's a lot. It's really cool. Let's see how it sounds on with clean tone. Memory card is full. Okay, so my main camera filled up on storage space, which I don't know how I managed that, but nevertheless, I guess I should end the video anyway. It's probably long enough. So, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. If you found it informational, please consider leaving a like. We're normally a music channel here. Normally we do guitar pedal and occasionally drum stuff, but also I do some other stuff, a lot of 3D CAD design and 3D printing stuff. So if that all sounds good to you, then please consider subscribing. That's all I have to say for now, so I'm going to say bye-bye.